What's up, y'all? This is Ashton Vaughn Charles. We are talking about SKU, trying to put a SKU in our life, yeah. We are talking about everything from the release date to why it was taken down to why we put it back up, how the process went. Watch this right now. Tap in. Isn't it interesting that 2020 has been such an eventful and massively subjectively, negatively impactful for, a lot of people kind of year.
Yeah.
Yet, that is exactly what has caused what has been the catalyst for clarity. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
The way I see it, if you get new information and it changes your perspective, that's okay. It's a good thing. That's actually how it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
But some people are so committed to dying on the hill they stand on.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, if you are on a hill and you find out that your hill that you're standing on, it's not the right hill to be on,
mm-hmm.
why would you stay there anyway?
Right.
We gotta learn and adapt. That's how we grow. I'm sure I've told this story a few times, but I remember when the whole George Floyd thing happened. The protests broke records, right? World records. But I remember going to one of my sisters flew out here from Cali to come with my other sister and myself that live here, okay? And we decided to go to a protest on a Sunday. The concept just came to me on the Saturday before that. I just thought of it SKU is it can mean this and that. We'll get into that in a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
But then we went to the protest on Sunday, and because everything was so heavy for 2 weeks before that, because everybody's timelines and their Instagram, whatever, the news feed was so heavy, because all we see is all this crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
But when we went there, it was definitely heavier, but it felt lighter because there were so many more of us to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a catalyst, for me at least.
Mm-hmm. For
many people, I'm sure, but for me at least, for this project. And I had already thought of the idea of what SKU would be, mm-hmm. how it just happens to be an initialism or acronym for Stop Killing Us.
Mm-hmm.
But the day after that, I knew I had to create it. I had to at least start something. I didn't know it would be what it is now. I had no idea, but that's exactly how it started. My sisters and I sharing in one another's energy and the energy of everybody else in this city who was just fed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started. Whew, okay, so every person that is involved in this track, except for you, because I trust your audio, recorded at my house, okay? And when I was mixing it, just to give you perspective, the top of my foot and my ankle are still in pain right now because I was sitting at my desk with my feet like this the whole time for literally from sun up to sundown. Somebody I know is very close to me needed to, was kicked out of their house, okay? And needed a place to stay for a month. That person that was staying with me saw me 5 minutes each day because I was in there from sun up to sundown for 3 weeks to 4 weeks straight, recording people and mixing and calling people, not necessarily pitching it to them, but more so saying, hey, this is what this is about. Would you like to be a part of this? Because I would love you to be part of this. And there were a couple people who wanted to but still couldn't, but most of the people, which I'm grateful for, were willing to. And it felt like almost every single interaction that I made in the past 5 years within the community was made for this. But yeah, that was a tedious and strenuous process because, not just because of time. Time is a lot, but that's not it. I'll put the time in. But let me tell you, it does something to you when you're listening to the cries of so many people over and over again on repeat, begging and pleading or commanding and demanding for people to stop killing us. That absolutely continually motivated me, but it also continually drained me each day. And I would be up sign up because I was unemployed for a minute, because COVID happened and I lost my job too, like a lot of people did. I did.
Absolutely.
But it was a blessing in disguise too. But it definitely took a toll. It absolutely did.
Yeah.
But I will never say that it wasn't worth it, because it absolutely was. Because I wanted to make sure that all of the artists, not just myself, but everybody involved in this, had an opportunity to really express their own pain. It just happens to be that hearing the pain of that many artists on repeat every day absolutely will get into your mind,
Yeah.
And it pushed me further. And I think that helped to push the artists further. So, in regards to creating the visual around it too, initially I thought it was gonna be like a cypher kind of thing, because I thought it was gonna be like, it's gonna be a 6-minute long song. That's a long ass song. So it's 6 minutes. That's a long song. So we're gonna have maybe 5 people on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, as it went down. I'll tell the story in a bit too, but it went down the direction of being between 19 and 20 people. But the pressures that came with it were more so, especially in creating the visuals. I thought it was gonna be like a cypher visual where it's a whole bunch of us and one of us comes front and just rapping or singing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one comes up front. But that many people, thankfully, the cinematographer, Martez Cornelius, he's amazing. Shout out to Martez Cornelius.
Sir, he's dope.
Yes, he's absolutely amazing. He was able to help me to inspire those of you who were the artists there to kind of create your own visual. In each section was what you wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
And it was very beautifully done, because that gave each of the artists inspiration to be more freely creative, have liberation in your creativity, which is very important.
Yeah.
But aside from that though, the main pressure came from getting all these people together in one room.
Yeah, right.
So it took, I think it was 4 separate shoots at first.
Yeah.
And then with everything that happened, it ended up being another 5. Or another one on top of that was maybe 5.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a lot of pressure to get everybody together, a lot of pressure to get everybody together, but it worked out. And I had to I still have the spreadsheet of when days each person is available and when everybody can link up and what is cohesive. And goodness gracious, I forgot that was so pressuring until you brought it up right now.
Back, now that you got through it all, it's man, that was a lot. You got an Excel sheet.
Yes. It took a lot. First I had to learn how to use Excel, because I have it on all my resumes, but I just put it there.
Because what? You can figure it out.
I know you punch in the numbers and put it in that cell, but then I didn't know how to do all the other stuff. Gotcha. I had to learn how to do that stuff that day.
Right.
But yeah, the press was mainly just getting everybody together, really. But I'm grateful that all the artists that were involved, and also the extras as well, were willing to bring their own energy there, because that's what made it everything. All right, project was out. Part 1 was out. Beautifully done. I loved everybody that did their thing. I was on that one too, but not me. I'm talking about everybody else. Part 2 came out. Beautifully done. I loved everything about it. But in between that, there was some information that came out within our community of artistry here in Phoenix, Arizona. And it was some information about people that I love very dearly. Still to this day, I love. And I'll never doubt that. What happened is part 1 came out, and as you know, I have a group chat with everybody in it that's involved in the project. And a few days before part 2 was supposed to come out, some information came out that there was somebody in our community of artistry who's been abusing women in our community. Not just women, like generally, not that that should even make a difference, but these are also absolutely people that we know directly. Somehow, you know, the whole 6 degrees of whatever, it was like 1 degree, you know what I mean? These are people directly in our community. And this person, I think his name is Aaron, honestly, you know, and I have no problem saying names because we need to hold those we love accountable anyway. I don't know this person. I do wish this person love, and I do wish this person to get to a space where he will hold himself accountable and take whatever necessary precautions that he needs to make sure that he is healing from whatever is causing him to abuse these people. It was outed that this person, Aaron, was abusing women in our community. I'm sorry, I don't know his last name, and that's, you know, but those in the community that have been impacted by him know exactly who he is. And I'm grateful for the courage that those who have spoken up have utilized in order to speak up. That's, I mean, that in itself, like, he was outed, like, publicly, like, it was on Instagram, I believe. And, you know, screenshots and stuff, and some people are arguing that you can edit screenshots, but I also know somebody personally who is absolutely directly an abuse victim of his. And that in itself, you know, when that came out maybe like, I think it was outed maybe like not even a week before I released part 2 of SKU. And it was brought to my attention about 2 days before I was supposed to. And I'm grateful that it was brought to my attention. It helped me to understand what's going on here. And the main reason it was brought to my attention is because a very beautiful friend of mine named Amy was shown in that, whatever post it was or whatever, to be backing him up and taking his side before knowing any objective information. And I'm all about getting your facts straight first, absolutely. However, I'm also a person who, if given the opportunity in the space where you have to believe one person over the other, I'm not going to objectively believe one or the other without knowing what's going on. However, I am absolutely more likely to lean towards the side of the person who is part of the oppressed party. Like, if a woman claims that a man raped her and the man claims that he didn't, I'm not going to objectively say that the man did. However, I am absolutely going to lean more towards the side of the woman claiming that, because the problem is we don't believe those who are oppressed. And me being a black man, I happen to be on both sides of oppression because I'm black. So I'm still, you know, absolutely a victim of oppression in that light. But I'm also a heterosexual man. And because of that, like, and I look heterosexual, like, well, I guess to most people, whatever. And with that, I still have privilege there. And privilege can be blinding. Not to those without, but to the one who has it. So, anyway, this person, Amy, was shown to be defending Aaron on this Instagram post or whatever it is. And by way of doing so, she was invalidating the woman who courageously came forward to talk about their actual abuse experience with Aaron. And that in itself is absolutely perpetuating abuse. It just is. So, I mean, she made her own video talking about and taking accountability for it and everything. And I'm grateful for that too. And I love her, absolutely. However, she absolutely was only an extra in the video, but that does not change anything because ultimately she is still prominently enough in this video where the people who this video was made for, because this video was made to be a safe space for Black people and a relative place, a space like a space identifiable by those who are oppressed, who might not be Black, okay? Like any other, LGBTQ plus, or any other minority group, or any group of people who are systematically oppressed. This is just, how about just woman? You know, that's another one, you know? This space is made for people who suffer from oppression to feel safe. And the problem here is that with Amy being in that video, after publicly defending this person who is an abuser, after defending this abuser, that can become triggering for these very people who this video was made for. And that's a problem. And I did not see that. I own that. I absolutely own that. I made a video about it, it was like 15 minutes straight of just me talking into the camera, you know?
Yeah.
It was very heavy. But I'm not gonna take full credit for that either, because the people who were coming out to me about this, I understood the gravity of it, but I did not understand. Well, I understood how that it was really big and it was really bad and it was really important to talk about. I did not understand nor express the urgency of how soon it needed to be spoken about. In trying to figure out what the right thing was to do, I sat on my hands for too long. I will not sit here and pretend like I was just sitting here and not trying to do anything, because I absolutely was trying to figure out the best way. Asking people around. Life was still going on too, so it was hard for me to keep track of everything. But I absolutely was doing whatever I could to figure out the best way to go about it before I came public about anything. But that's the problem. When there's things like that involved, it was like 2 weeks that I was trying to figure out the right thing to do. Ask different people different people on both sides of oppression what the best thing to do in this situation would be, and apply that to what I felt was best, because I knew I was going to address it. I knew that, like, objectively, I absolutely was. Not like I'm one of those, I was gonna. No, I absolutely, I had the plan to and everything. Yeah. But in waiting for others to respond, that time that we wait, another victim can become, another person can become a victim of abuse. And that itself is a problem. And I own that. That's the role that I played in not really being the protector that I claimed to be. And that kind of, that's not okay. It gets to me personally, and regardless of how personal it gets to me, it's not about me. It's about those people who were hurt by this person. And in every scenario that we are in, where we see or become knowledgeable of any kind of abuse to an oppressed person or to any person, because literally by logic, somebody being abused, that person's oppressed. So in any of those situations that it happens, the moment that we realize it, that we understand it objectively, that we know that it's happening, and we choose to either not just to act in opposition of the oppressed, but to remain idle. We choose the side of the oppressor. And that our privilege can blind us. We say this to, let's just say about Black people, say this to white people all the time. At the same time, because I'm Black, overtly so. I'm also a man, heterosexual man. And my privilege blinded me from being able to really see the people who were expressing this to me. from being able to hear them. And when the oppressed person cannot be heard, they will continue to be oppressed. So that I had to be shown before I made that video. I'm not saying that I obviously didn't intend on it, but intention isn't everything. It's not. It's a very beautiful part, but it is not everything. I absolutely needed to be shown that my privilege is blinding me. Because if I can't see it, then I don't know it. And if I'm claiming to protect these people, specifically black women, okay? That's always been my focus. It just has for me personally. But to protect, if I claim to protect any oppressed party, I need to be able to hear them and to see them. And to not other them, because there's no them. They are us. When I say us, they are included. So there's no they. That was a heavy day. Beautiful friend of mine, Coffee, she brought to my attention, this was weeks prior, okay, or a couple weeks prior before the day really happened. She brought to my attention that this person, hey, did you know that this is happening? And me, I'm like, I didn't know that. I had no idea what's going on. And you know, I know there was some versions of miscommunication and misunderstanding there, regardless of what either party feels. I know that for sure. Like, however, I also know that I was not able to hear her really in regards to the gravity of what she was saying. I was not able to truly hear her really in regards to the gravity of what she was telling me. But anyway, let's just fast forward a couple weeks later, after the part two is out. And more stuff is coming out about this whole situation. Amy even put out her own apology video, taking accountability for it, which I'm grateful for. But the day that I took the video down, I remember having a conversation with a person who I know was directly impacted by these abusive actions by Aaron. I remember this person texting me and expressing to me, you didn't do your part. So you're telling me that, you know? You did not, I don't feel safe with you, generally speaking. And I remember trying my hardest to express myself, like, hey, no, I'm doing everything I can, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to address this, and, you know, I put it in the group chat to talk about it, to have an open conversation, this and that, But honestly, none of that really mattered, because I still okayed the video to be out. Like, I'm going to put it out, you know? And, you know, if it's just a regular random video, you know, if it was like just a music video for a random song that I made, then, you know, an extra is an extra. But this video was literally made as a safe space for, primarily for black people, okay? But also for anybody who ever experienced abuse, or not just abuse, not just like individualized abuse or interpersonal abuse, but also for anybody who has experienced any form of oppression. But this person, who I love very dearly, was expressing to me, you didn't see me when we needed you to listen. You didn't. And for me, I remember feeling like, because I reached out to this person too when this whole situation first started, and I was asking this person, hey, can you talk to me so I can figure out the best direction to go here? And this person was absolutely willing to. Life was also going on, and I was really frazzled internally, because, you know, it's a big project, right? But it's not an excuse really to actually to negate the fact that I wasn't able to make time for this person to really make the right decision. And in knowing this, I unintentionally stood this person up in those conversations. end of the day, I would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. This happened, this and that, whatever. But can we please talk tonight or tomorrow or something? But that happened like twice, you know, and that was enough for that person. And I get that. That makes sense, you know. Like if somebody stands you up twice, it's like, all right, I don't even care, you know. Regardless of intention. So this person expressed this to me, and I still wasn't really able to see this person, what they were saying. And it took this person, somebody else that knows this person, calling me to talk to me, to express to me why this person felt the way that this person felt. And it took a long conversation. I'm always open-minded. I always am open-minded. I will objectively say that I'm always open-minded to listen, to figure out how I can see things in a different way, okay? But the person that called me, we spoke for a few hours, and it took this person expressing to me why and how I didn't see this person, where they were coming from, how I didn't see this person, and how what I'm doing is absolutely going against anything that I claim to stand for. And it was absolutely true, because I claim to protect black women and to stand for black women, and black women are everything. Yet there are black women in this community right now who were victims of being abuse victims of this person, of Aaron, that don't even feel safe watching this production. Beautiful production as it may be, they don't feel safe here. It was made for them. That's a problem. That is an absolute problem. If I created this space for you to feel safe, hey, come in here, and you get in this space and you see danger in this space, then what did I create this space for? That doesn't make any sense. So I took it down. I had to be shown. I did have to be shown, because my privilege blinded me. But I absolutely took it down once I understood. I do wish I would have understood sooner. Unfortunately, there are some people who don't wish to talk to me anymore. And they're allowed to feel that way. They are absolutely allowed to. I'm not going to validate that at all. If we never talk again, it's unfortunate from my perspective. However, it is absolutely valid, because I wasn't able to protect these people in a space where they needed it most. And that it does hurt. It does, because I'm a protector by nature. But what happened is not okay. However, the fact that it happened has to be okay, because that's how we learn and grow anyway. That's all. Okay, so I've been very grateful. I've always expressed gratitude as much as I can. As much gratitude that I can express, I will. For all the publicity that SKU is getting. Because there's actually been like several articles on it, you know, and that's because of all of the artists involved. Because it's not just that, you know, it's not my song with some artists on it. These artists are the ones who made this, and I'm grateful for every one of them. Now, where we are now, I reshot the video. I did take out the people who were involved with the whole abuse, not just allegation, but the proven abuse record and everything. And also, one of the artists chose to back out of the video, which I absolutely respected and honored. And it is still going strong. It is, because honestly, duality is a thing. Duality absolutely exists. There are absolutely some negative impacts that these people have had in regards to our community. And this project, SKU, is still doing very beautiful things by bringing, because everybody wants to raise awareness, right? But this is just reminding people that we are humans here. Hey, Stop killing us. We are here too, and you don't need to kill us. You actually need to not kill us. A reminder also that we're not just asking anymore. Sahar said, I am not asking, I am demanding.
Right.
And it's still about unity. That's really what it's about. Because there are still lives being lost here. Everywhere, really. But we're focused on here right now, okay? There are still lives being lost here. There are still victims of systematic oppression. We are still here, you know? And whether it's in the workplace or at a traffic stop, or even just walking to the grocery store and people glaring at you because you look a certain way, all of that, it still exists. It's still happening right now. With all the protests and everything, it's still happening. So my hopes are that SKU, if it doesn't directly change these things that are happening, that maybe it'll inspire somebody who can. Because if we can get 18 to 20 artists together on a track, because we've seen ciphers like that, but if you can get 18 to 20 artists on a track like this, like on some We Are the World type stuff, directly talking about this, directly talking about the systematic oppression that we deal with and the forms in which it's expressed, then that kind of thing can directly inspire those who come after us to go beyond where we were able to go. Because that's how cyclic immortality happens anyway, because we are survived not by what we try to take with us or whatever, but by what we give, what we express, what we teach, what we like. If something happened to me tomorrow, this interaction that I'm having with you right now will stay in your memory. And that, because it's in memory, that's also like the feeling of that memory will transcend your lifetime because you have that memory of me, right? And it's not about me, that's an example. But anything that we experience has an impact on objectively has an impact on our genetic makeup, right? Because ultimately, the things that we experience are what create, okay, if I get attacked by a dog, and I'm afraid of dogs now, that epigenetically passes down. It might not be a direct fear of dogs that my child has. However, something innately, it takes like generations to actually evolve in that direction. But something innately will still be there based on that trauma. That's just one. All of these things are passed down. So if this project does not directly do anything that we want for it to do, at the very least, my hope is that it will inspire those who come after us. SKU's still coming out. I just finished it. I feel good about it. I just finished editing it. I was at the house editing it. Martez Cornelius definitely did his thing on trying to re-edit something or reshooting things, and I had to do some edits myself on it and everything. And Melissa Zeese did her thing with the pictures, with the photography. Ira Glavnik, she did a behind-the-scenes video. It's amazing, and I'm gonna drop that too.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. It's dope. It's funny too. It's really cool though. It really shows these people being people. They are absolutely black people, and they are absolutely people.
Right.
And it just shows them just having fun and being in a space where we all feel the same pain, so we can joke about it a little bit and, be among those we know are really here with us.
Right.
So, yeah, it's still coming out. SKU is still releasing on, what month is this? October. SKU will be out on October 24th. And it's still an amazing project. Part 3 has not been released, but the whole thing will. And I really hope that you all enjoy it. because you watched, like, you were one of the first people to put me on a show that I had my own set. And I'm grateful for that. That was like 5 years ago now. Excuse me. Actually, more than 5 years ago now. It's almost 6. Yeah.
Getting up there.
Oh, goodness. But anyway, because you came and you see all these amazing people, and you're there, right? So you being there, and then all these amazing people are there with you, correct? Am I incorrect? That is, yes or no? Yeah, correct or no?
Which, the shoot or just?
I'm saying at the shoot, you were there, and all these amazing people are there too, yeah?
Yeah.
Wrong. You are those amazing people. You were there for a reason. Right. And every single person on this project was there for that same reason. I want to make sure that it's very clear that you weren't there among them. You are them. They are you. Because you being there, you being asked to be in this project is because I know exactly what you can do. And you did that.
Sure, so appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just want to make sure that you know that you are one of these heavy hitters that you see. I have to remember that myself. Like, I still don't see it sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta remind myself, hey, Ashton, you are good, you're amazing. And you can say this humbly and still know that you're the shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you absolutely are. And what's funny is I thought about you early on in the stage too. However, because of everything going on, and I was figuring everything out. But you know who brought you back to my mind?
Who's that?
Stefani Monet.
Oh, nice.
She was like, what about Dom? Francisco Phoenix. They literally lived this that you're talking about. And I'm like, duh, Ashton, what the heck? And it's not because I didn't think that you had what it took at all. It's literally because it's a lot of people in my head, and it's like I'm trying to figure everything out.
I mean, Phoenix it's a big spot.
It is, so. And there's so many of us now. And honestly, a lot of us have a platform thanks to you, and you absolutely did help. I'm gonna speak objectively for me. You helped me grow to who I am, and I would not be where I'm at all if not for you. I do want to say very specifically that this whole project SKU is a reminder that the very people who are killing us are killing themselves, because if you understand true oneness, then you understand that I am you. I am exactly who you are, and you are me. This is not a divisive, this is the unifying production. And the purpose of this is genuinely to bring everybody together. There are issues systematically beyond black and white, absolutely beyond black and white, that we need to stand together for. And we cannot get there until we can stop this divisiveness that is black and white. So I just want to make sure that's very clear. It's a unifying project. The purpose is to unify all of us. I genuinely want to thank you, for even having me and talking about this, because it's a heavy topic, The whole project is about a heavy topic. So I really want to thank you. So, not just for this, but I Am Root has been here for me and for everybody in this community, creating this space that we all feel safe, in for years. And out the gate, your shows were like, I Am Root shows were like packed, when it was safe, of course, but it was shoulder to shoulder, just watching people perform. And these are people that I know, you guys have always been about community. So I gotta thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Even for bringing light to this whole production and for being a part of it. So thank you, genuinely. I'm grateful to be a part of it here with you. And I'm grateful to even the attention that, I personally have, because, and thanks to I Am Root, and thanks to you. So I'm absolutely grateful. That's literally what SKU is too. You know what I'm saying? It's just a community of all these artists who came together. It was like, I got something to say too. Okay, we want to listen to you. What do you want to say? And they spoke their stuff, and did their thing. So I just want to thank you for bringing attention to this. They did. You all did. So thank you.
For sure. No problem.
Yeah. Real quick, make sure that you tune in because SKU's coming out. I'm going to say October 24th. SKU's coming out October 24th. October 24th. Make sure you listen to that and watch it. The whole thing is going to be done. Part 3's in it. I promise you. Part 3 never came out. October 24th.